Every once in a while as I travel, I'll find little towns or communities that are unique. They're special. There's something different about them. And I'd like to tell you about 3 of them. My journeys for this trip will take me to a trilogy of unique locations. Lemmon, South Dakota, Taos, New Mexico, and Marfa, Texas. Let's travel to Marfa first. In true Texas fashion, I first had to ride out a dust devil, hit a few tumbleweeds, until I finally arrived at the welcome sign by high noon. The windmills and weathered wood really add to the western feel. But when you pass this, you're forced to do a double take and see what it's all about. In 1956, a movie called Giant was filmed in this location, starring James Dean and Liz Taylor. It's the creation of artist John Cerny, on display 5 miles west of Marfa on Highway 90. Unique to me. It's certainly a masterpiece, but let's add a Border Patrol blimp in the background to make it a truly unusual experience. Marfa, Texas is well known as a haven for artists and collectors of handmade crafts. It's a bright, quaint little town of about 2,000 people with plenty to explore. But my attraction to the area was based on rumors I'd heard of a unique phenomena that was known to occur east of the city. That took me out Highway 90 to a free pullover site called Marfa Lights viewing area. There are plenty of places for cars, trailers, and RVs. However, it's not really a tenting area. It was, however, the perfect spot for me to set up my A-frame. Although the strong winds made it a little bit of a challenge. As you would expect from anything around the Marfa area, the observation shelter is a work of art itself. Along with restrooms, it has an observation platform that includes seats, windbreaks, and viewing binoculars. I'm in the Marfa viewing area for the famous Marfa mystery lights. Don't know what they are, because it's a mystery. But in about an hour or so, the sun's going to go down. Hopefully some of those clouds will clear up, and I'll get to see something. Or not. Who knows? So I understand the lights don't occur during daytime, but at least I can scout around for possible sight points. To the south is a vast desert plateau full of shrubs and grasses. It was a former site of the Marfa Army Airfield, which is now closed and fenced off. Except for a bird, I didn't see much. But let me find out what exactly I'm supposed to see later on. For that, I visit the plaque at the entrance of the viewing shelter. And it reads, "The Marfa Mystery Lights are visible on many clear nights between Marfa and Paisano Pass as one looks towards the Chinati Mountains. The lights may appear in various colors as they move about, split apart, melt together, disappear, and reappear." It goes on with a little history and possible explanations, but it closes with some remarkable statements. An explanation as to why the lights cannot be located is an unusual phenomenon similar to a miracle. Whoa! However, it's that last line that got me. The mystery of these lights still remains unsolved. That, to me, sounds like a challenge. Shortly before dusk, a woolly bear caterpillar makes a run for it. On cue, the sky changes dramatically to one of the most eerie sunsets I've ever seen. With the last flicker of red, the sun disappears. The night train glides down the tracks as the campers form a line at the pull-off. It's just a matter of watching and waiting, eyes fixed on the Chinati Mountain silhouette. The first thing to light up were the heavens above. Watching the cell phones glow was just as entertaining as the light show. I have to admit I was quite distracted by the bright starlight and the crisp dark skies. I almost forgot to look at the horizon. But after fingers started pointing, I fixed my gaze on the mountains. What you see blinking is a communications tower to the southwest. At first, nothing abnormal. A little later, however, a couple of faint lights appear to the right. Next, I tried to amplify the light by using a more sensitive setting on my camera. Don't worry about the creature in the foreground. It's just the guy in the next trailer moving about. Watch the light on the right. After it disappears, the light on the left splits. When the right light reappears, the left light splits the other way. Strange. To give some sense of scale, I tried some shots from inside my trailer. If you look out my trailer door, just to the left of me, you should see the Marfa Lights. Now, it's open to debate as to what the source of the lights are. Some say they're merely cars going down a desert road. But the big mystery of the Marfa Lights is why they keep changing. There'll be 3 or 4 or a dozen in a row, and then all of a sudden, just like that, they'll all disappear, and then they'll come back in 2s or 3s or different brightnesses or different colors. That, to me, is the real mystery of the Marfa Lights. However, I wasn't done yet. I had never seen anyone attempt a time-lapse video here. Since I had the equipment, why not try? So here is mine. With the camera speeded up to compress 20 minutes into 15 seconds, the source of the lights is quite clear. It's the nighttime traffic on Highway 67. But let me clarify something. That only explains the lights I saw. Who am I to judge what others might see on another day, another direction, in another circumstance? It's all about luck, observation, imagination, and having an open mind. So if you like things that twinkle in the night, I strongly recommend a visit to the Marfa Lights viewing area in West Texas. My brief sleep was interrupted by a morning freight train. It was time to head off on another quest, this one more about the future than the present. And instead of tumbleweeds, I counted roadkill. Taos, New Mexico is a high desert town in the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. It's another art-based community featuring many museums and galleries. But nothing seemed out of the ordinary until I headed about 14 miles north on Highway 64. Not only was the terrain different, but the architecture had changed as well. And it was a very dramatic change. The sign says it all, a greater world Earthship community. It seemed right out of a science fiction movie. There were around 75 strangely shaped dwellings scattered across the horizon, each one uniquely different from the others. While not open to the public, there was, however, a visitor center named the Earthship Biotecture. Curiosity got the best of me, so I went inside for a tour. What struck me first was the organic, comfortable feeling of the interior design. The main hall has several banners explaining the benefits of solar and wind electricity, thermal heating, building with recycled materials, water treatment, and food production. The south-facing walls capture heat from the sun, which is in turn distributed to a thermal mass of the walls and floor. The greenhouse not only provides a growing area for food, but also acts as a buffer in the colder months of the year. Yes, a greenhouse effect is actually a good thing here. The north side of the structures are buried in soil to assist in natural cooling through convection. Each roof has solar panels or wind turbines, generating electricity to be stored for future use. Perhaps the most unique feature is how they collect and use rainwater. Captured on the roof, it is then filtered and stored. Any gray water from sinks and showers is then recycled to feed the plants in the greenhouse. The concept is certainly a noble one. The goal to provide true off-grid sustainable dwellings requiring little more than what nature provides. Incorporating materials in the building that society has cast away is something to commend. Surely a step in the right direction, however I suspect it needs a little tweaking, especially in less ideal environments. So if environmentally friendly living appeals to you, I definitely think it's worth a visit to the Earthship near Taos, New Mexico. But I had one more destination I wanted to make, from Taos to cows, the upper farmland in South Dakota. And a little town called Lemmon, population 1,227. Now you might be familiar with Lemmon, as it is where I did a video on Hugh Glass, grizzly survivor and adventurous supreme. The gentle rolling hills provide land for cattle and field crops, plus a healthy population of deer and pronghorns. In another time, other horned creatures roamed this area, but not with cowboys on their backs. This is the Grand River Museum in Lemmon, South Dakota. The star attraction of this free museum is the stunning sculpture by artist John Lopez depicting the Hugh Glass encounter with a bear. which in my opinion at least, was far more creative than the Hollywood movie. But there's far more on display than just a front piece. Stroll through the halls and you'll find interesting displays of cowboys, ranch life, plus a good assortment of artifacts on Native American history. But history is also on display through the extensive collection of fossils found in the area. Both North and South Dakota are well known for their paleontological discoveries. Unlike many other museums, this one has actual dinosaur bones and not just replicas made out of plaster. Perhaps that alone makes the display unique. However, there is one other reason. If you read through many of the wall displays, you'll find one word that's shown over and over again: faith. And that's a word I've seen somewhere else recently. Faith, South Dakota is a small town just south of Lemmon. And I'm sure faith was an essential part to the rough life out on a prairie. However, in this context, it had another meaning, which came down to the 4 F's: faith, facts, fossils, and flood. The faith plaque describes the debate between 2 different philosophies on how life evolved, one through the words of the Bible, and the other through the theory of evolution. The second plaque is called Facts. It basically acknowledges the difference between actual facts and theories, but this time it breaks it down to 2 different ideas: the evolutionary theory and the creation theory. As for fossils, both sides agree they are fact, once living organisms preserved in stone from a past era. But what appears to be debated is whether this process occurred over millions of years or by a one-time catastrophic event. The final F is for flood, which debates whether the world formed slowly over millions of years or by a series of much shorter catastrophic events such as the flood interpreted in the Bible. All 4 plaques end with the question, "What is your faith?" Another display that really caught my eye was a scale model of the Ark. As a cargo ship captain, Noah must have considered his choices based on buoyancy, weight, and space. And I see why throwing in a T-Rex or 2 may cause concern. And freeing up space is better for the camels and armadillos. And hey, why not throw in a couple of Christmas trees? But I had to draw the line on this display. It was a Mayan calendar stone that included the following statement: "This is good evidence that the human race has always been intelligent and have not evolved upward from ape-like man." Are you serious? Look at the guy. He's sticking his tongue out. Not exactly the model for intelligence, and the 2 ladies below are laughing hysterically. I, for one, have always debated the intelligence of the human race. But on a more serious note, I have no interest in debating those with religious beliefs against those with scientific ones. I actually applaud the museum for showing the world another side of the coin. Theories will always be theories, and having the freedom to enjoy your beliefs is one of the pleasures of living in this day and age. I encourage anyone to visit Lemmon, South Dakota, take a tour of the Grand River Museum, and decide for yourself. So there's my choices for 3 unique places in the U.S. One to ponder the past, one to experience the mysteries of the present, and one to plan for the future. I hope you enjoyed this video, and you'll check out my others as well.